On April 3rd of 2022, Miami police received a terrifying phone call from the Paraiso complex in Miami, Florida.
Now, what's the line here?
Operator Dog, what is the address of your emergency? Hey, man, please.
3101. It's 130, so 130.
Ma'am, listen to me. You need to stop screaming on the line and give me the address.
3101. I'm gonna die. I can't feel my arm. 3101. I can't feel my arm.
Ma'am.
So my boyfriend is dying of a stab.
Ma'am, what is the address?
What's that? What's the address, baby? 3130 Northeast 7th Ave. Please, God, please. Come see my boyfriend.
Those were the voices of Christian Tobechukwu Abusele, who had been stabbed, and his girlfriend, Courtney Clenney, calling for help. The police responded to the scene, hoping to get answers from Courtney, unknown to them that the killer was the caller. This is Courtney Clenney, an Onlyfans model who stabbed her boyfriend to death on April 3rd of 2022. And to anyone's surprise, Courtney picked up her phone and dialed 911 to report the incident. But what became of Courtney after the call? This is what happens when the killer calls the police. Although the police suspected Courtney immediately and arrested her, nothing can be confirmed without evidence or a confession. On getting to the police station, Courtney was taken to the interrogation room and placed on a not-so-comfortable chair. This was done to wear out a suspect before questioning. As the investigation went on, despite just stabbing her boyfriend, Courtney had other things to worry about.
This must be very rough for you, right?
No, we were supposed to go to the park with my dogs today. This is not how I experienced it.
At this time, Christian had already been declared dead at the hospital that he was rushed to, but the investigators held that information from Courtney because it could affect the flow of their investigation.
I'm monitoring him and talking to him, so we're waiting.
Oh my God! So he didn't even have to have surgery.
Well, I don't know. They're still doing X-rays and stuff like that. So I don't know yet. I'm waiting to hear a response. That's all.
The investigators used different ways to make sure that Courtney was comfortable with them, and so in no time she was giving them the details of what had transpired between her and Christian. Although the investigators knew from the start that Courtney had stabbed Christian, they had to know if it was premeditated or unintended. Courtney's story soon directed the investigators to another path entirely.
He asked me about it again. And I don't know what I was thinking, but just said something about, well, what if I'm somewhere you don't want me to be?
Okay.
Which I wouldn't have been. I love him. But it's like, maybe you don't want to know where I am. I guess maybe it'll just hurt him because he was pressing me. And he ended up pinning me against the wall. And then, I said choking me on the floor. It's just they were looking at my neck and I was like, I'm not saying choking you whatever. But he had my neck, and this happened twice before, where I couldn't breathe and I was on the floor. Yeah. I could not breathe. And I don't think that he was trying to kill me, but I was scared. And all 3 times I have been scared.
At the time, Courtney made it seem like Christian was trying to kill her, so she did something in self-defense.
By the couch, kissing for the kitchen. I was in the kitchen. And then he just I could see all the lights in his eyes, and he was coming at me. And so I grabbed one of these knives. My mom got me for Christmas. I grabbed one of them. And I was I swear to God. I swear to God. It was just I grab and be don't come anywhere closer to me, because earlier I was having 2 other times I couldn't breathe. I'm sorry, I couldn't breathe, and it's very scary. And I just think just this kind of thing where I was saying do you know if he's okay? If he's choking me and he's angry enough, he might this is different, I think. But if he's choking me or pinning me or something and I can't breathe, he might go too long. So I grab a knife and I said, don't come anywhere closer to me. I had absolutely no intention of using it. I'm on the phone with my mom, and he's coming at me like he's gonna grab either the phone or like the knife or something. And so I was just like, I was like, don't come any closer. Coming at me, and I drew it.
Courtney's story would soon implicate her, but not yet. For now, she was asked to detail further about the relationship. The investigators had to know if Christian was a constant abuser.
Whatever. So, yeah. They went up and they said, I guess they asked me about it. And I said yes. And they said, okay, well, that's DV or battery or something, not assault or something like that. And so I got arrested and I was just told.
The incident mentioned by Courtney would also be major evidence in the case, but again, not yet. Courtney was given a change of clothes as their clothes were stained with Christian's blood, and after that, the investigators would reveal the bad news to Courtney. With Christian gone, no CCTV footage to detail what had happened, and no other witness to the case, Courtney was released since the police believed that she acted in self-defense. But how did the police catch the killer? Christian Obusemi's family members would not stop seeking justice for him, and on top of that, Courtney's fame would expose her inappropriate behavior, opening up the case for a second time.
Yeah, what? Let's all videotape her. Right now, you should go. Yeah, you should go. Because you just know my boyfriend. Yeah, you did. Yeah, yeah, okay, cool.
That was only days after Christian's death. However, Courtney didn't have to be on the TV before she was known. Before the incident, she had 2 million followers on Instagram, and immediately after she identified herself during the interrogation, she became recognized by a lot of people. Going out to drink meant at least one person would recognize her, but that was not the end. 2 months after Christian's death, Courtney Clenney was involved in a bizarre drunken encounter in her parents' neighborhood in Texas. She reportedly made sexual advances at an 18-year-old boy she met on the street while walking her dogs. Although this is not the nail in the coffin for Courtney, these events would fuel the spark created by old videos of Courtney that would surface on the internet. First, it was the body cam video of Courtney's arrest for domestic violence back in 2021, the case she mentioned to the investigators in the interrogation.
Good morning. What's going on today?
It appears that Courtney hit Christian in the presence of people who called the cops on her. She was arrested for that offense, but you can see Christian defending her still and apologizing on her behalf. And if that video was not enough evidence to arrest Courtney or make her at least a suspect of the murder, then this next one shows her using racial slurs on Christian. Unknown to her, he was recording secretly.
So shut up and let me slap you, dumb. Give me my phone. You literally talked to her without telling me.
Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said hi. You and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and call me a You're a Yes, thank you. Coming from Courtney, thank you.
But even after all that, Christian apologized to Courtney, even though she hit him during their argument.
Not you're done, Kendall.
I am mad that you told me to come
Decide right now.
Courtney, that's good. I asked you so many times that I don't know, and I apologize. But you hit me.
Another piece of evidence that would be used against Courtney was when she spoke about having the urge to kill Christian because she was angry. Again, Christian recorded the conversations as if he knew someday there would be a need for it.
Not having a good day where I actually literally want to kill you, but you don't take me seriously.
But that was not the end of it all. There was another video of Courtney abusing Christian, which was also recorded without her knowledge.
No, like I was sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you. Like, you're hindering my progress.
At the time in their Pariso apartment, one security guard called the cops to report domestic violence between Courtney and Christian. It appears that Courtney didn't want Christian to stay with her in the apartment, while Christian wanted to stay badly. Courtney claimed that Christian had been stalking her all over the place, and so she needed action taken against him.
I want a restraining order against Christian Williamson. I don't issue them.
Also, 2 months before the incident, on February 21st, 2022, a CCTV camera in the Pariso complex elevator showed a violent incident between Christian and Courtney. There was no audio, so we can only assume what had transpired between the two. It started with Courtney entering the elevator and using her hand to hold the door open because, at the time, she had lost her key. Christian enters in an attempt to use his key to access the apartment when Courtney starts to attack Christian, and she does so severely. Although these videos are good evidence that can be used against Courtney, they still don't mean that she deliberately stabbed Christian. But when an expert was called in to determine the cause of death, it changed the narrative completely.
If the person who supposedly did this is an expert knife thrower, and the knife is the type of knife that you can throw, I guess that could have happened.
Did you receive any information that the defendant was a knife thrower?
No.
So based on that fact that you did not receive that information, would it support that?
No.
And what would you expect to see a knife do if someone just flung it at somebody?
Threw it the way a knife thrower throws it?
No, someone that's not a knife thrower.
It would just hit the body and bounce off.
Now, as a result of this case, did you come to a cause, or did you make a determination as to the cause and manner of death?
Yes.
Could you please explain those to the court?
The cause of death was stab wound of right subclavian artery. The manner of death was homicide.
Recall that Courtney said that she threw the knife at Christian when she was giving the details of the incident in the interrogation room. That story had just made her whole case a complicated one. According to the expert, unless a person has been throwing knives for a long time and becomes a professional doing it, they can't aim for a person's chest and hit the target once. Also, the stab wound shows a person needs about 8 pounds of force to inflict such an injury on another. It only shows that Courtney didn't throw the knife. She did stab Christian intentionally out of rage. In August of 2022, Courtney was arrested on a second-degree murder charge. Well, she wanted to bond out of jail since that place is not like home, but unfortunately, she was denied bond, causing her to cry in the courtroom. Since then, Courtney remained in jail awaiting her trial until her parents did the unthinkable, which further complicated Courtney's case. Courtney's parents, 60-year-old Kim Dwayne Clenney and 57-year-old Deborah Lynn Clenney, were arrested in Texas on January 30th, 2024 on felony charges of unauthorized access to a computer or electronic device. Authorities who were investigating Christian's death had sought access to Courtney Clenney's cell phone, along with her iCloud account and the iCloud accounts of her parents. After they received search warrants for the iCloud accounts, Apple complied, which gave investigators access to messages that include a group chat between Courtney Clenney's attorneys and her parents. Included in the chat were discussions about Christian's laptop and how to access it, including a reference to accessing the laptop using guest passwords. Kim Clenney wrote, "Are there any PIN passwords we can try before you see her tomorrow?" After she later determined that the PIN was a number and not letters, and the next day, she wrote, "Hell yeah, that PIN worked." While it might not seem like a big deal, Florida law says accessing a person's computer without their permission, or in Christian's case, the permission of his estate, is illegal. The couple were eventually released on a $5,000 bond each, after which they appealed in court. But in Courtney's case, it was different. With her charge of second-degree murder, she has been denied bond and she faces up to life in prison if convicted of murder. Currently, Courtney is held in the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center in Miami-Dade County. As of now, her trial date has not yet been set.